welcome to Revelations of a Delusional Knitter. I'm Angela, your host. This is episode 125, and it is Wednesday, I think, September 30th, 2015. On to updates and housekeeping. Welcome if you're new. If you're returning, I thank you as always. Either way, I hope you enjoy. If you do enjoy, please come over to the Ravelry board and post some comments on the episode thread. I would love that, and I would appreciate it very much. Let's see. The show is on iTunes, YouTube, delusionalknitter.com, and I also put a link in the Ravelry board as well when the episodes come up. Obviously, you found it somehow. And yeah, if you're not a member of the Ravelry group, please come and join so we can chit-chat and whatever. I can see what you're doing, because you can always see what I'm doing, but I don't know what you guys are doing out there. On to declarations. You may have noticed I haven't recorded in a little bit. Sometimes I skip a week or whatever, but it's been a little bit. I wanted to record the other week, but things have just been absolutely crazy. And I will tell you a little bit about some of them. Some good, some not so good. So, I don't know if I mentioned it on the last episode, because I think I was just starting it, so I wasn't even doing it yet, I don't think. I started a new schedule at work, so I'm working 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. I've always liked the night shift, but I don't like the sleeping for the night shift and etc., but I don't mind working it. And 6 to 2 is better than, 11 to 7 or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I figured, because I'm just usually up till 1 anyway, when I get out of work at 10. So, excuse me, allergies. I thought I would give it a try, see if I liked it, because what happened was, because there were some new trainees and I was new, etc., they said that we could do a mid-year bidding. Usually bidding occurs in January, and that's when you pick your shift. This sounds familiar. Maybe I did tell you guys about this. So they allowed us to change shifts if we wanted to, as long as we weren't bumping anybody, because it always goes by seniority. So I picked to try 6 to 2, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because what happens is, I come home at 2 a.m., and then I stay up until 4, and then I go to bed. So, I don't like it. I do like that after like 10 p.m. at work, really like almost nothing happens sometimes. Occasionally there will be a busy night, but usually nothing happens, and I can totally catch up on TV. I love that part. But I don't know that that's so important that I want to stick with it and change my schedule. I don't think I like it. I think I want to go back 2 to 10. Because 2, I could sleep late if I wanted to, or get up early if I had to go do something. And I would be out at 10 p.m., which is a normal hour, and I could go to bed by midnight or 1. If I had to get up early the next day for something, I could just go to bed at like 11 or something, and it just, yeah, I don't like this shift. I don't like this shift. But that's why I decided to try it now that the opportunity presented itself to try it short term, because it will only be until the end of the year. And now, because I was like, I had said to my supervisor, I said, well, I think I'm interested in that shift, but I don't know if I'll like it. But since it's short term now, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Because what happens is, I get up, now I'm sleeping later. At first, I was still getting up at like 8 or 9. Now I'm sleeping till 11 or noon, and I get up. But if I get up at like 10 in the morning, then I put around the house, I do some cleaning, watch some TV, do some knitting, whatever. And then it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, oh my god, I still have 3 hours until I go to work, and then I have to work for 8 hours. Like, it just seems like it's so long. It makes the day so long. And the shift seems longer, because I'll be at work, and it'll only be like 7 p.m. And I'll look at the clock and I'll go, oh my god, it's still 7 more hours. Like, it's really bad. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. So I'm probably going to go back 2 to 10 in January, because I'm not liking this at all. Tried it. Don't like it. Now I know. So that's that. I did mention in the last episode that I was sorely in need of a new vehicle, and that I was going to go look at a truck. I bought that truck. So I went and looked at it on a Thursday, and my friend, who is also a mechanic, is across the street at a Ford dealership from this place, because he's the one who told me. He was like, hey, there's a guy with the gas station that's, small dealership, has a couple of used cars, why don't you go see what he's got? He said he often has a lot of F-150s, because I was looking for a, bigger truck than I had, but not a humongous truck, just a normal truck. So I did, and he had one that I really liked. So I went on Thursday, and this is like 3 weeks ago, by the way, because I haven't recorded. So I went on Thursday, and I test drove it, and I said to the guy, before I test drove it, I said, hey, my friend's a mechanic over there at Jarvis, do you care if I bring it over there? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I test drove it, and as I'm driving it, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this truck. So I drove it around, and then I went over across the street, and he looked at it, and he did say, he wasn't upset about it, and he wasn't like, bring it back right now, or anything like that. He liked it, but he was like, keep looking, it's got high mileage, you know, it's clearly been cleaned up, but it's gonna rot again with rust and stuff. He's like, so you should probably keep looking, but it's not bad. And coming from him, that's actually like an A-okay answer. So I did look some more, and I just wasn't finding anything I liked as much as this truck. So on Saturday, I went back, asked him to test drive it again. I drove it again, and this time I took it down the street to a parking lot, and I opened up the hood and like checked some things in the engine that I had read about. You know, you can check the oil to see if there's like antifreeze leaking into it or other weird things going on and stuff like that, and I didn't see any of that kind of stuff. You know, you can check for leaks and stuff. So I did a couple of things like that. Then I drove it around some more, and I brought it back. I told the guy, you know, I want it. I want to trade my truck. So he came out and looked at my truck, told me what he would give me for my truck, which wasn't, he was actually on target. We ended up going lower because of the price that I was purchasing this truck for, so we kind of met in the middle, which is what happens when you buy a car. So, great. So then I go to the bank, and my plan was, as I told you guys, not to have a high car payment, because that's why I only wanted to spend about 10 grand for a new vehicle. I spent $10,500 for this, so that was reasonable, right? And I go to the bank, and I did not know that the age of the vehicle affects your loan. So I could get a loan. I could get a loan at the very low percentage rate that I was quoted before, but I could only get a 2-year loan because of the year of the vehicle. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So the payment is what I didn't want. However, it's only for 2 years. And I hemmed and hawed, and I hung out at the bank for a little while, and I thought about it, and I called my husband, and he was really not very helpful, but whatever. And then I ended up buying it anyway, because I was just thinking, you know, I can get a newer vehicle and get the loan terms that I want. But if I get the newer vehicle, the loan is going to be the same amount per month, but it's going to be 6 years instead of 2. So either way, I'm going to be paying more than I wanted to per month. I might as well get this one that I really like. I'll have the higher car payment that I didn't want, but I'm going to end up running into that anyway unless I pay cash, which would wipe out everything. So I opted to just do it because, yeah, that way it's only 2 years. And like I said, if I bought a newer truck, I'm going to end up with the same monthly payment, but overall I'll be paying way more. I can do it because I had already done the math, because that's why my husband was no help, because when I called him, he was like, maybe you should sit down and figure things out. I'm like, no, I already have. I've already run a bajillion numbers with a bajillion car payments per month, and this, that, and the other, and this one's doable, so. And then, so I bought it, and then, so obviously I was gone for a while after I talked to him, so when I came home, I was like, come and see it! And he's like, oh, I knew you bought it, because you were gone way too long. So, yeah, but I love it. Now, it's raining out, so I don't really want to take the camera out there. And plus, I don't really know how much you care about taking a tour of my new truck. But I did notice while I was setting up things for the podcast that the dealer hasn't updated his website yet, so my truck is still up there. So I can show you his pictures, because they're way better than any pictures I would take. So this is my new, awesome, lovely new truck. And it's humongous. If I stand next to it, the side mirror on the door is my head. So it's huge. But way bigger than my last truck. But this is what I love about it. And it runs great. It runs great. And everything's really tight and clean. When I go over bumps, it doesn't sound like pieces are falling off like my old truck. Inside, it's got leather. It's got leather interior that's in really, really good condition for the age of the vehicle. The whole interior is excellent. I think they actually recarpeted it. Because if you look by like the back seat, by the seat belts, the way the carpet's cut out, it's cut out a little bit too much around the seat belts. So I think they recarpeted it too, because the carpet's pristine. And I love it. Oh, I love it. It's big. like I said. When I first started, now I'm getting used to it, but when I first started driving it was like driving a bus. And it was funny too, because I went to go get coffee at work, and on like the second or third day, the girl was like, "Did you get a new truck? Is this yours?" And I was like, "Yes, I did." And she goes, "It's so big, I would be afraid to drive it." I was like, "Yeah, well, parking it's a lot of fun." But I love it, and it runs awesome, and it's so fabulous. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, and I love driving it. The other day when I was off, I just drove around for a while just to drive around. So that's that. 4-H knitting. I did have another meeting for the 4-H knitting group, and that went pretty good. I was a little late because we picked a new venue, and I kind of got a little lost. Not too bad. I had an idea of where that was, but I didn't leave enough time to get there. I didn't think it was quite that far. I wasn't that late, like 5 or 10 minutes or something, but... and that went good. One of the girls that was at the last meeting actually made some progress. She's doing the typical, you know, she's making yarn overs and she's dropping stitches, but she had a couple of inches of something knit since the last meeting, so that was really cool. The 2 girls that can knit really well and I think would do wonderfully, unfortunately have like dance at the same time that I scheduled these meetings, so we'll have to figure something else out. My schedule will eventually change anyway, so whatever. We'll figure it out. I forgot to bring them up. I think I lost my favorite pair of fingerless gloves, and I'm very upset. And I think they were in the glove box of my old truck. So, that stinks. And I have to look around some more, because I really thought, when I started looking for a truck several weeks ago, and really had it in my head that I was definitely getting a new truck, I really thought I cleaned out my truck, just preemptively, just in case, because, for example, Saturday when I had gone to buy this new truck, I only had to grab a couple of things out of my truck, like the floor mats and things like that I wanted to keep, because I had really nice floor mats in there. And I think, though, that these got left in the glove box. Like, my old truck, the glove box was, like, it was very deep, and I think they were in the bottom of it. Because, like, I grabbed out my phone charger and stuff like that, and the registration and all that stuff, but I wonder if they were, like, crammed in. I don't know. Like I said, I have to keep looking, because I might have pulled them out, like, last winter, and just don't know where I stuffed them, or they might be, like, in a tub with winter clothes. However, most of my knitting stuff, most of my hand knits are in a drawer, a specific drawer that's, like, for hand knits, and they're not in there, so I don't know. But it was actually one of my patterns that I released a long time ago, and it was these. So these gloves I cannot find, and I really think that they were in my truck and that they went to the junkyard. So, very upset about that. But we'll see. Like I said, I have to keep looking, because I thought I pulled everything out of there, and I don't. And the only other thing that might have happened too is what happened was I pulled a lot of stuff out of there, and I had, like, you know, bottles, like drinking the soda water bottles that were in the back, and trash. And I think when I cleaned out my truck, I put, like, everything in a grocery bag, and intending to sort it out later, and I don't know where those grocery bags went. I think they went in the trash. So, I think they're gone. I have to keep looking, but anyway. So the other thing that's been going on, that is the not good part, aside from me losing my gloves, and I will make this short because I'm already babbling enough because I haven't recorded long enough, but long story short, we have 3 cats. Nico, our oldest cat, who's only older than the other cats by like a year or 2, has always had really horrible teeth. We adopted him from a rescue, and they didn't do anything wrong, but I think whatever happened to him as a kitten before they got him, he had really poor care, so I think he's got just bad teeth. And he started not wanting to eat his food anymore, and he seemed like he was starving all the time, because he asks for treats and stuff a lot, and he really seemed like ridiculous and over the top about asking for food. And he would ask for food and then not eat it. Like, they have dry food all the time, but they often, like, you know, fresh. If they can see the tiniest bit of the bottom of the bowl is empty to them, and you have to give them more food, and they'll tell us when they want more food. And he didn't seem to be eating right, so I said, okay, bud, you need to go to the vet, because I think it's your teeth, but let's, you know, see what's going on. So I took him to the vet, and they checked him out, and they said, oh yeah, he's got a couple of teeth that really have to go. And I had seen, like, right before this, he had one tooth that looked, oh, it was nasty. It looked like a little baked bean. Like, it didn't even look like a tooth anymore. It was brown, and it wasn't even shaped like a tooth. And so I think it was infected. So when I brought him to the vet, we scheduled a dental with extractions, and meanwhile, until that appointment, they had put him on an antibiotic, and within a couple of days, he was doing really, really well. And I started feeding him canned food. And he was eating fine. So it clearly wasn't anything other than his teeth, because as soon as the antibiotic and the canned food, he was absolutely fine and back to himself, because he seemed kind of, not like lethargic, not in crisis, but you know how they are when they're not feeling well. He wasn't himself, so he was right back to himself after that. So I was like, oh good, that's what it is. So I'm all concerned about him and this dental, because, you know, surgery is surgery. With people or animals, something drastically wrong could happen, and they could die, right? They actually have you sign a paper that says, like, you won't sue them if your pet dies. So I'm really concerned about this. So I'm not thinking about anything else. Certainly not that when I bring him home, one of our cats will react so poorly that it's like we brought a brand new cat back into the house. Yeah. So right now, we are living in a house that is almost like we just got a new cat, and it sucks. Willow is fine. We have Nico, Riley, and Willow. Riley's a boy, Willow's a girl. And Riley's a little bit older than Willow, but not by much. Riley and Willow are actually related, but I don't think they know that or care. They have the same mom, but they're different litters. And we also, like, adopted a person I used to work with many years ago. Her cat was an outdoor cat, not spayed. Oh, do the math. So her cat got pregnant, and when she mentioned that at work at that time, we had lost an older cat like a year or so before that. So I was like, oh, we have room for a kitten, you know, we'll take one. So that was Riley, and Riley and Nico always got along, but it was very clear that Nico was the dominant cat. Nico would do dominant things. He would jump on Riley's back and bite him, you know, not bad. Like, we would break it up if they were rolling around, but it was never a fight. It was more of a, like, Nico telling Riley he's the boss, and Riley being like, okay, I get it, and then Nico would get off him and leave him alone. And, for example, with the other two cats, Riley, say we were all on the couch in the living room watching TV, like me, or just me, or me and my husband and another cat, or both cats were on the couch. If Riley was, for, you know, eating or in the bathroom or something and then came into the living room, he always kind of walks a little bit more, you know, kind of looking around and stuff. Not like petrified, but, you know, just observant. Where the other cats are just like do-do-do-do-do in the house, you know. So he's always been a little fragile. So, say we're on the couch and one of the other cats is on the couch. Riley will come up, look like he wants to go on the couch, see the other cat, and they go, oh, nope, and go sit in the chair over there. Not like run, not fearful, not petrified, but just be like, I don't really want to sit on the couch with you, I'll go sit over there. Now, if I was in the living room by myself, or me and my husband with no other cats on the couch, Riley would come up. It's just the perfect stereotypical dominant submissive behaviors. Riley's submissive, Nico's dominant. So, when I brought Nico back from the vet, Riley greeted me at the door, which he usually does, and unfortunately I think he saw Nico in the carrier, didn't recognize the smell because of the vet and the anesthesia and everything, and thought it was like a brand new cat and freaked out. Willow was asleep in the living room. I don't know that she would have reacted this way even if she had been right there, because I don't think she would have, because Riley's so fragile. So I let Nico out of the carrier, and I was like, right, it's Nico, look, buddy. And he was still hissing and growling and everything, so I was like, okay, something's wrong. So I took Nico and put him in another room. I got Riley and put him in another room. Then I went to go hang out with Nico in the other room for a while. And then I tried it again late. So I'm doing pretty much what you're supposed to do, right? So something was not working there for Riley, so I separated them immediately, and then I tried it again. And he was still growling, hissing, really upset. Now, the first day or two, Nico just had surgery, so he's kind of not with it. So he's just like, doo-doo-doo, and doesn't really care that Riley's hissing or growling at him. So long story short, this has been going on for a while, and I keep backtracking, and I'm working on the whole introduction things and all the stuff like that, and it's not quite fixed yet, but we're seeing progress. But it's so distressing. I've had these cats, Nico's 8. Riley and Willow are 6 or 7. Are you kidding me? Like, Nico was here before they were born, or came into this house, and I got them as kittens, like 8-10 weeks. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So that's what we're doing now. And it's very stressful for everybody involved, because although it's good that I'm on the 6 to 2 schedule now, because when I leave to go to work at 6, I put Nico in the bathroom with food, water, and the litter box. Riley right now is in the laundry room, which doesn't have a door, but we have a gate up, so Nico can't get in there, so that's Riley's safe room, and Riley has food, water, and a litter box. So when I go to work, I put Nico in the bathroom and lock him in. I open the gate so that Willow can get in there with Riley to the food, because he's alright with her. Get in there with everything, so if she needs the litter box or whatever, she has access to it. So I leave for work, and Nico's stuck in the bathroom for an hour and a half to 2 hours until my husband gets home. It's better than hours and hours, although, like I said, they all have food, water, and the litter box, so it doesn't really matter, but you feel bad locking anybody up. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, because Riley and Nico would always greet me at the door. Riley always, Nico most of the time with him. And now poor Riley is in the laundry room and doesn't want to come out. So, yeah, and he comes out sometimes, but as soon as he sees Nico, he bolts. And Nico, being Nico, who's dominant, chases after him, and Nico has bad social skills. Like, if a cat is hissing and growling at you, you probably shouldn't go 2 inches from their face and stare at them. Not really the best behavior. So, yeah, we're working on that. And cats are not dogs. If these were dogs, I would have fixed this already. Because dogs are a lot easier to correct and, pack structure and you're the boss and everything. Cats don't care. Like, I am the boss. Like, even though Nico's dominant, he's dominant with us, too. He exhibits a lot of dominant behaviors, even with people. But we don't tolerate them, and we ignore them, which is, we don't feed into it most of the time. But that's just who he is, and that's just how he behaves. But, yeah, correcting them only exacerbates it. You scare the crap out of Riley. You make Nico mad. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. So right now, Riley's got a safe room. He can get out, but the other ones can't get in because he can jump over the half wall through there's railings, and he can get out, but he then can't get back in if the door is shut. But usually he won't come out unless we're home anyway. And if he comes out, the door's open when we're not home. He can come out because Nico's locked in the bathroom. But, oh my God. We are making progress, though, because most mornings when I wake up, Riley is out and either on the bed, as far away from Nico as he can possibly be, or he's on my nightstand or on the floor next to the bed next to me. So we are making progress, but it's very slow, and it's very distressing because that's so sad, It's sad. So that's what's been going on, and that's why I haven't recorded, actually, because I was babysitting cats on my last 2 days off, making sure nobody got killed. So, yeah. So the camera's going to run out of time shortly, so I will take a little break, and I will come back with knitting, because this is a knitting show, but that's what's been going on in my life lately, and we will go on from there. And on to Revelations, the knitting part of the show. So, I don't have a ton done. A lot of it had to do with the cat thing, because if you've watched the podcast for a while, Willow, who is my sweet little baby girl, who usually is, but she's more so now that she's behaving with both cats, likes to eat yarn made out of animal fiber. And I've tried on a few occasions to knit out in the living room, and she's not, overly interested. The problem is that I'll think she's alright, and she's going to leave it alone, and she can be, across the room. And I'll be knitting, socks or something. My husband and I watch football, whatever. And she seems completely not interested at all, whether she's next to me or across the room. And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she will come out of nowhere, grab the skein of yarn, and take off. And I didn't even see, what just happened? So, yeah, while they were, I was supervising them and everything, I was not knitting because I didn't want to also try and watch her. And sometimes I can knit out there if she's sleeping or something, but as soon as she wakes up, I have to hide it really quick because she'll come out of nowhere and grab it. It's like a shark. So, what I do have is I have an FO. My Undying Socks are done, and they came out awesome, and they fit really nice. And that was the pattern by Valerie Johnson from Laundry & Cat Yarns, and I love them. And so those are my socks. And everything's fine. I did mess up the toes, like I said before, where I think I did knit two togethers instead of SSKs and vice versa, but I just did the other sock the same, so they look the same, and they're fine. But I like those a lot, and those are done. I have a lot of stuff all over my room, so I'm going to be doing a lot of bending. Let's see. I have not worked on the Knitters Guild Master Hand Knitter program at all. Whatever. There's no deadline, but yeah, I should probably get working on it again, maybe in the winter. Bigger on the inside, I haven't touched it all. And the Icarus shawl, I haven't touched it all. What I did do was I started a new pair of socks after I finished Undying. So, And I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel socks again. And I don't know if you've ever done that. It's a fantastic heel. And it's only $1 for the pattern. And what you do is you use a cardboard template. Now, I had made the socks before, and there were two things I didn't like about them. One, they were about ½ an inch too long. And I don't know if I misunderstood the template. I don't think I did, because I reread it a couple of times, and it still is what it is, and it is how I did it. So, when you make the template, you mark this line, and that, as far as I understand it, is where you're supposed to start your heel. I have found on this new pair of socks that if I start the heel on this line, then they fit correctly. And I don't know if that works for some people. As you can see, I have a very narrow foot and a very narrow heel, so it might be that that works for other people with much wider feet, but it does not work for me at all. So, and I even marked it this time. So if I don't do them for some time, I won't forget which line I was supposed to use. So that should work fine in the future. Now, I have here 2 pairs of socks because these are the last ones I did that are too long. I had thrown them in the dryer a few times and they seem to shrink up, but after I wear them they kind of stretch out and are too long again. But what I didn't love about this pair, and it really depends on the yarn, I'm sure, how many rows per stripe there are, but as you can see, the stripe pattern got broken up and there's that short little dark gray line. And that's because that was left over from the heel and then went on the line. So when I did them this time, I wanted to pay attention to where that line was and try to not have it in my new socks, and it worked out perfectly. And like I said, I forgot to check, but it's probably more due to how many rows per stripe there are. But this one, as you can see, worked out awesome, and it totally did not interrupt the stripe on the front of the foot. So I'm super happy about that. And all I did was I started the heel with the new stripe color. Oh no, I didn't. I did half and half. That's what I did. That's right. I did a short. Based on that, what I did was, because that's like half a, that one's actually more than half a stripe, but this was going to be half a stripe. I did half a stripe, then I did the heel, and then I ended up with the same color again for the rest of the stripe. It's about a row longer than a normal stripe, but it looks fine. So I have 2, and they're both at the same point or thereabout. They're both past the heel, and neither one had the weird interruption in the stripe. So I'm curious in the future to see if that works for other yarns. Like I said, it really probably depends on how many rows there are per stripe, where the heel falls in that, and if that works or not. But yeah, I found that if I did half a stripe, it's a 3, that's a 3-stripe sock. Yeah, see, the other one's got more colors than that, so I don't know if it would work with that one anyway. For a 3-striper, if you do half and then do your heel, then you're back on the other color and it works out. I don't know if it works out for everything, but I'm curious to see if it does work out in the future with other sock yarns. But I was very happy that it worked out for these ones, because that was the whole thing I was trying to do, was avoid the weird little small stripe after the heel. I also have a yarn ball sack, another one, I made for one of the swaps I'm doing, so this will go to my swap partner. So I did another one of those. I love that pattern. It's only like $1.50. I showed it on the last episode, I think, but it's really cool. And then, for my Halloween swap in the Danger Crafts group, I have almost finished my item. So, I was doing a Louie the Love Bot, but since it's Halloween, I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I had some ideas, and I'm very pleased that they worked out well. So I did a Louie the Love Bot, but I made him into a vampire. So he's cut. I have to block the cape, I think, and then it will sit better. So he does have arms, but they're not attached yet, but he does have them. So once they're attached, he will look like that. And I made him a little cape, and he's got little fangs, and he's got hair like a vampire, and I'm super excited that he came out this well. So the cape, all I did was I just winged it, kind of did some decreases, made a little cape. Like I said, I want to try blocking it, see if it sits better. So what I figured I was going to do is, I'm probably going to tack it onto the back, because even if I tie it, it kind of like yanks on his neck and everything. The neck that's non-existent, by the way. So what I figured was I would tack it on the back, and I'd take the little ties and tack on a button right there. And that will be my little vampire Louie the Love Bot. And I think he came out pretty good. I like him a lot. So I'm very happy that my idea worked out with the hair, the fangs, and the cape and everything. So really excited about that. You probably won't see him again once he's finished, but I'll take photos because I'll have to mail him so that he'll get there by Halloween. And I went out today and I grabbed some more goodies for my swap partner, so I'm happy that that's going well. String Theory, the Mirkwood spin-along. Epic fail, because today is the end of the spin-along, and I don't think I spun any more than I showed on the last episode. Typical epic fail. I was thinking of doing Spinzilla this year, and after that epic fail, I was like, no. Not even going to do it. I might spin during Spinzilla, but I'm not going to join any teams, because no. Scrolls, I have nothing. Testaments. I do have some Testaments. I hope that you don't see any more Testaments for the rest of the year, since I bought that truck, because I shouldn't have any money. But this one was one that I've been trying to get for a while, but I just didn't like any of the color options that he had, so I kept skipping it. And then I saw this one just on a fluke while I was perusing things, and it's John Rizzi Glassworks. He's on Etsy, and he makes little spinning discs, so they're glass, and this one, I don't know if the camera will show it, but it's purple, and it's got the sparkly bits in it. And this is really nice. Perfect. Totally my colors. Like I said, there were a lot of other ones I saw, but I really didn't like them. But what's really cool about these is he's got a magnet on the back, and he gives you a washer. So what you can do is, if you're spinning on your lap and you have a piece of fabric, you can put the washer on the back of the magnet, and then it won't slide around on your lap, you know, if the fabric is across your lap properly. So I thought that was really cool and really unique. And I really like them a lot. And I had found this through the Mirkwood group, because a lot of people who have Mirkwoods with the ball bearing spindles, I'm sure this works for any spindle, really like these. And I tried it out really quickly the other day, and I like it a lot. But yeah, it's really cool. And like I said, I was waiting and waiting until I actually saw something that I really liked, because I didn't want to get one just to get one if I didn't love it. And I really like that one. Be interested to see how it works with my, I already forgot what they're called. That spindle I got not that long ago with the glass swirl. Brain fart. So, the other thing I have, which was super funny, I don't often go to my local yarn shop, but I had to make this monster for the swap. And I looked through my stash and I couldn't find anything I liked for colors, and my swap partner had said that she liked purple and green. So I figured I would just go to my local yarn shop and grab some Cascade 220, and, you know, then maybe I can get colors that I like. So I picked out these two colors and, you know, liked them a lot together. So when I had gone, first of all, that was on sale, like 25%, so I was like, awesome. And that's all I bought. I didn't buy anything else. However, they were doing like a yarn crawl, like the Boston yarn crawl that goes for like a week, so people go to all these different shops, you know, in the area, and they punch a card or something, and you can get prizes, whatever. I wasn't participating in the yarn crawl, but because they were doing that, they were doing a bunch of raffles and stuff. So while I was buying that, they were like, oh, did you enter in the raffle? And I was like, no, but I will on the way out. So I did. I had no idea what the raffle was, because there were people standing in front of the table, and this was in a bag, so I couldn't even see what it was, but I was like, hey, it's free, right? Whatever. And then I got a call the next morning that I won the raffle. So I was like, awesome. So I went back while I was doing errands and stuff, and I picked up my raffle, and it's actually a really nice prize. It is 4 skeins. First of all, there's a nice bag. It's 4 skeins of Barocco Artisan, which is merino and silk, and this is a lovely colorway. So I have 4 skeins of that. They're not regular stock yarn skeins, 123 yards per skein, times 4, and then a Barocco pattern book. So, that was pretty cool. I won the raffle, and that was a nice surprise. Then I also played the lottery, thinking I was on a, you know, roll. Would have been nice, but I did not win the lottery. So that's it for Testaments. And Intentions. I have a new shawl design that I'm way behind on now, because of the whole cat thing, and life in general. But I contacted Becky from Morning Bright Yarns, and she had donated prior to one of the, knit-alongs or whatever I was doing. And I asked her if she wanted to do yarn support and blah, 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 and she said, sure, absolutely. And she actually said, she said, look at my colorways, tell me what you want, I can dye something, I can come up with another color, blah, blah, blah. And we were discussing my shawl design, and she said, well, I had mentioned some of these colors, and she said that these 3 colors would go really well together, and I looked at them on the computer, and I was like, wow, she's right, those look really good. So I asked her for the ones she recommended, and she sent them to me. So it's Peach Julep, Peace and Quiet, and Indigo Bunting, and hopefully soon you will see, as you see, I haven't even wound it yet, you will see a new cool shawl design. And I was hoping to do a mystery shawl knit along. By the way, if you haven't done it already, there is a thread on the board to go vote in a poll regarding this. If you're interested in mysteries, Becky and I were discussing her doing kits, etc. So go do that poll if you haven't done it yet, because I'm going to leave it open for a while because I haven't even started the shawl yet. And I would appreciate your input on that, because it would help me if I want to do a mystery knit along or just release the pattern and have her do kits or whatever. So, Hogwarts at Ravelry. The new rotation starts October 5th. So I will be doing things like finishing up my monster here, but leaving some ends unwoven so that I can weave them in when the rotation starts to get points and things like that. But the other rotation ended. I didn't do fabulously like I have in other rotations as far as points go, but I didn't do horribly either. Franken Monster on Danger Crafts group starts October 3rd. I'm going to do that. And what that is they make, so there's Rebecca Danger patterns, the monsters. I've done some of them before, you've seen them. They go through some of the patterns and give you clues. So you have to have the patterns or the books. Obviously, they're copywritten, right? But they'll give you different clues, and I think they said they gave you 4 per clue. So if you didn't have every book or every pattern, you would at least have an option that you did have. I have 2 of her books and some of her patterns, so I'm sure I'll be fine. And so you're making a Franken monster with bits and pieces from different patterns of hers, and it's kind of a mystery until you're done with the monster and see what it looks like, so that's really cool. Keep on Knitting on Socks 2015 ends today, so get your entries in. Well, you won't see this episode today, will you? I will do a drawing shortly for that. And I won't wait for the next podcast. I'll just do it and put it on the board because I have to swap packages and stuff so I can mail out the prize for that. Undying Knit Along, the socks I showed by Valerie Johnson, is a free pattern, and the knit along is until October 31st over on her group, Wandering Cat Yarns. And she has some prizes and stuff. And I have some Ravelry patterns for you. Let's see what I got. I have the Bohemian Vest Stevie Nicks style by Donna Cousin. It is $6.30. I don't know where I would wear this or if I would ever make it. It's crochet, but it's pretty fabulous. And I would love to make one and wear one. This would be like the perfect like apple picking in fall vest. It's huge and it's colorful and I think it's really cool. It really goes well with like t-shirt and jeans and boots, I think. So I don't know that I'll ever make it, but maybe. Like I said, I don't know where I'd wear it, other than like apple picking or some fall event. Fall Leaves by Michelle at the Painted Hinge. Sorry, I was like looking for a last name. It's free, it's a crochet pattern. It's just some fall leaf embellishments that you can use for all kinds of different stuff. The Woman's Hooded Vest by Maz Kwok, Kwok. This is free, and this is also, apparently I was on a crochet kick. It's also crochet. I'm not a vest person, but I could totally see wearing that over like a long sleeve shirt. And it looks pretty cool. And the last one I have is the Sweet Nectar Mitts. It's a colorwork knit pattern. It is $3.90 by Tanis LaValle. Tanis Fiber Arts has yarn, and she actually has kits for these, but they're hummingbirds and flowers, and they're really cool. I like those a lot. And another pattern, I forgot to list it, but for the other swap that I'm doing, I'm going to make mittens for my swap partner. And I'm going to do these dragon paw mittens. Those are cool. I have some Knit Picks Chroma in my stash that I'm going to use for that. And it's going to almost be that color, but a little bit more on the jewel tone, autumny color side. That is $5. And I use this fingering weight yarn, so that's what I was going to do. Knit Picks Chroma and fingering. So those are your Ravelry patterns. Let's see, Delusional Jabber, bullet journal. I've still been using my bullet journal, not as much as I would like. And I did for September, I did do like a monthly spread. So I still have to do my October one. And that worked out pretty good. And lists and stuff I always do all the time, but I haven't been using it the last couple of weeks. Arts and crafts, I haven't been doing any other crafting. Reading, I've been doing a bit. Zombie Fallout number 6 I finished. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, I'm about 60 or 70% done. Discworld, I read a little bit more. Ready Player One, I listened to some more while I was in here crafting. TV, Once Upon a Time. I missed like the whole last season, so I've been catching up on the last season, and I only have like 3 or 4 more episodes. And it started like last week, I think. So I think I can actually catch up and still get into the new season. I love that show. I love that they take things from like 3 seasons ago and tie it into now. It's amazing. And everybody's related and everything's interconnected. It's really amazing. Fear the Walking Dead we're still watching. Falling Skies, I just have the last episode to watch. The Muppets started. I like the new show. A lot of people are up in arms about that one because it's not like the old show and this, that, and the other, but it wasn't advertised as such, so I don't know why people are upset. Gotham started again, and that one's very good, and I also checked out Minority Report, and that one I liked. I don't know if I love it, but I liked it. And that's all I've gotten caught up on TV so far. And I've babbled on long enough, I think, and my husband just pulled in, so happy knitting and spinning.